billions and 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 billions and
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Wednesday. That's right, it's hump day. Welcome back to the channel. I do hope you are having a great week so far. Although, how could you not be having a good week with all of this excitement? Altcoins are still outpacing Bitcoin today for the second day in a row. We have to admit it has been an incredible 48 hours for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. Now, some people are getting a little bit freaked out saying maybe we put in a bit of a double top. We need to cool down, right? We need to have a little bit of a correction. So I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about some significant levels moving forward, what we would really need to do for me to have the absolute just bullish scenario for Bitcoin, you know, full on bull. We're going to talk about that. Whether or not this actually is alt season, it does appear that the alts are doing well, but I want to analyze that a little bit, have a look at the charts historically and see if we should be getting excited just yet. And yes, of course, I have to talk about this insane Bitcoin SV pump. What the heck is going on? Oh, and not to mention the fact that CNBC says that Bitcoin is going bananas, but Brian Kelly is not quite convinced. So, that being said, guys, if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. And if you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button. We do this every single day, and every Monday, we give away a Ledger Nano S hardware wallet. You got to keep your crypto safe. If you're interested, drop a comment on any video, and you are eligible. Now, let's have a look at the most devastating part of my day, and that's the fact that cryptocurrency memes Reddit is down. I'm very sad about this, guys. Very sad. So anyway, let's get serious now. Let's talk about price. Let me give this a quick refresh live since we have had okay, so Bitcoin dominance, it actually pulled down into 65%. It's back up to 66.3% on CoinMarketCap. However, still Bitcoin is being outpaced by a lot of these altcoins. You can see right here, we have Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, Dash. Now, interestingly enough, I just want to point out, all of the Bitcoin forks seem like they've been pumping, right? Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, and Dash as well, right? So very interesting. I'm gonna have a little bit of a discussion about that moving forward. Yes, and of course we do have to talk about this crazy Bitcoin SV pump and where is this volume coming from? We're gonna get into all that today. We do have fear and greed sitting around neutral. Lots of volume coming in, healthy volume, guys. Over $1 billion for Bitcoin, over $2 billion for Tether, and the big question of the day: where is the money coming from? Is it coming from new people getting into crypto, or is it just being recycled around the crypto space? Well, for the most part, it's just being recycled. However, we do have US dollar inflows at around 765.76 million, which I know what you're saying, that might not be a lot, but it's actually double what we're used to seeing. So that is new money coming into the space. You can't deny that, guys. Now, having a look right here, this is actually the crypto market as a whole minus Bitcoin, okay? So this is basically altcoins. You could see altcoins were basically bouncing around in this channel. They kept, hitting resistance, then down to support, up to resistance, and finally, they did have a clear breakout. So this is good for altcoins. I mean, you can't deny that we did have that breakout moving forward. Now, Mike Novogratz, he posted, "I'm not sure I understand the altcoin rally. Happy for those making money on it, but not sure what changed." Well, you basically see the response from Saifedean. He says, altcoins have approximately zero liquidity, so when Bitcoin starts to rise, it only takes a little bit of money seeking diversification to make altcoins rally. As alts liquidity rises and their numbers swell, the effect dissipates. And also, we do notice that you'll see like first Bitcoin will pump, then you'll have the top altcoins, then mid caps, and then you'll find like the little tiny ones kind of pumping at the end. And this is very common for crypto if you haven't been in it. But having a look right here, this was what just kind of shocked me, was how big of a plummet the Bitcoin dominance actually took. I mean, you can see right here, we peaked out at around the 70, almost 71%, and then we just had this just straight up drop off. It was crazy. Almost seemed a little bit coordinated in a way, right? So the question is, do I think that it's absolutely alt season? Well, not 100% just yet, guys. I mean, we'd have to have a little bit more confirmation on that. It's very possible that Bitcoin could even come all the way down to about 63%, before sort of continuing upwards again. So is it full on alt season? I need a little bit more data before I'm going to just jump on the altcoin bandwagon just yet. But talking about the difference between the last time we had this crazy drawn out, sort of downwards action for price versus now, you could see that it clearly is different. This was a descending triangle, whereas this is a descending wedge, and we did have the breakout to the upside, whereas clearly here we had the breakout to the downside, just like we did when we formed the same triangle back here before the backed release, right? So I just wanted to point that out. Zooming in, having a look, this is just zooming in a little bit closer. You can see we did have the breakout right here. We're trying to stay above that $8,163 level, and what I like the most is that we had this legacy trend line that got supported. You can see right here, look at all of these weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we had 2 months and 1 week essentially being supported by this line before having the blast off. And look, every single time we tried to wick down, it got bought up, it got bought up, it got bought up, and finally we broke out. So a lot of bullish things on the chart right now. I don't want to get too excited, okay? I'm kind of got used to the price falling so much that it feels weird, right, to actually have some positive news. So you can see right here, essentially, we were basically forming this triangle right here. We did have the breakout, and we have been supported by this trend, which basically was our support down here when we had that dip on January 2nd down to about $6,800. So every time we touch that, with the exception of here when we went to go fill the gap, we basically have been riding above it, and I like to see that now it is actually providing support. And to just sort of break that in a different perspective, the green line represents that. You can see that is where we had the president of China pumping Bitcoin. We had one top out here, one top out here, and look at where the red line touched, exactly to the trend line, and we had a nice bounce off of it. So making me pretty excited short term, guys, pretty bullish short term. But anything could change. We could get rejected and go all the way back down to 5,500. But let's not start talking about that just yet. We are still above the exponential 21 moving average on the weekly. This is the green line. You can see the significance of it. Underneath it, not good. Above it, good. We're above it. So you can deduce from that what you will. We are also finally back above the 200 daily moving average on Bitcoin futures. I said this yesterday. Very, very excited to be above this. Oh, and hey, guys, look at that. We had a little bit of a touchdown, and look where Bitcoin wicked down to. Would it surprise you that it was the 200 daily? So guys, this is just all looking very great on the charts right here. We do need to get above the 200 on the regular retail spot charts. Keep in mind, they go 7 days a week. Now, obviously, this curve is going to, curve down, and we will meet it. But if we don't get above it, it's going to start acting as resistance, kind of like it did back here. So I would like to get above this rather than have it come down and meet us and then start putting that sort of pressure, back down on Bitcoin moving forward. And obviously having a look right here, where was I? Talking about whether or not, we did have this potential double top. We had 1, 2 right here. Let me know, guys, what you think. Was that it for the rally? Let me know your opinion below. But I do actually agree pretty much damn near 100% with Josh Rager looking at these levels. He basically says 9,400s will be the first major area to break, point of control being 10,350s, and will be the major area to break to continue the bull market. And you can see the significance of that level. So like I've been saying for quite some time, the 10.1K to the 10.3K level, definitely full on bull. But obviously that 9.4K level is sort of that short-term confidence we're looking to get into. So will we reach that by the end of this month? It's possible, very possible, guys, right? In fact, I had somebody reach out yesterday and say, hey, if you adjust the trend line to the top of the 2 wicks, you could potentially see Bitcoin go all the way up to even $11,800, which interestingly enough, isn't that like right around where we have the other CME futures gap, the one that's way up there? Really weird how this all starts to play out after a while. But you can see right here, essentially what I think is happening is Bitcoin was just riding along the bottom. We were definitely oversold. We had over a 6-month correction, and I think we are just continuing on our merry old way on this amazing path that Bitcoin has been putting in for the last decade. And yeah, that's basically what's going on. Having a look right here, though, guys, obviously we are having a little bit of choppiness. But as you can see right here, we do have this nice little structure support. So as long as we stay on this trend and don't really have any major dumps, and especially we stay above the 8.5, 8.6K level, then I'm feeling pretty good for Bitcoin moving forward. Now, let's talk about this guy, Bitcoin SV. What the heck is going on with this? Now, looking at the technicals, okay, I actually could agree that it was due for a little bit of a breakout potentially. Look, it got absolutely squashed down here, finally broke out of its descending wedge that it was putting in, right? So, okay, I get it. I totally get it. But was that pump really I mean, I don't know. Let me know if you guys think that this was absolutely natural. But I mean, you could see even from the top to the bottom, anybody that bought at the peak right here already, it's already back down another, 30%. So if you had $100, you now have what, 60 something dollars, $70 now. You know what I'm saying? So you have $70. So I would be careful with this one, guys. It does seem a little bit unnatural. I mean, you can see right here, we had $6.4 billion worth of volume. The market cap's only $5.8 billion. Now, I know what you're saying. It would be possible to have more volume if it was, just dumping, but it also had crazy volume when it was pumping as well. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it does seem a little strange to me that you're getting this kind of volume from exchanges like BuyBox and Hotbit and things of that nature. So I just feel like something about this could potentially be coordinated, however, could just be good old-fashioned speculation, right? You can see right here, the person that was holding the private keys for Craig Wright's Bitcoin stash essentially has come forward, and the document alludes that the mysterious figure known as the bonded courier who allegedly held the private keys needed to access Craig Wright's Bitcoin stash is back. Now, keep in mind, he is being sued by the deceased business partner, David Kleinman's brother, for allegedly misappropriating Bitcoin and manipulating documents to defraud his estate. For anybody that's new to the channel, no, this guy's not Satoshi, although I know there's like a whole cult of people out there that believe in that for some crazy reason, even though he's been proven wrong on multiple occasions. But you can see right here, essentially, this is the, the document, the notice of compliance, if you want to, basically verify that for yourself. Although I do want to give a shout out to Tim Copeland. Now, he said everyone got the Craig Wright story backwards yesterday. He said Craig Wright said that a list of addresses would arrive, not the private keys, and the list of addresses arrived supposedly, but he didn't claim that he has received the fortune. So if you just have a bunch of addresses, it doesn't really do anything. I could point to any address on the Bitcoin rich list and be like, oh yeah, those are mine, right? Right? But without the private keys, it doesn't really prove very much. And just in case you guys aren't familiar with, just some of the very uncomfortable moments of Craig Wright, just have a look at this video that Omar posted real quick. Just a friendly reminder.
How identity worked in Bitcoin. I remember reading it, probably when I wrote it.
When I wrote it. There was also another really uncomfortable video where he said Satoshi Nakamoto plagiarized him, and the guy on stage is like, wait, but I thought you were Satoshi. I mean, he's just been caught in so many of these just sort of lies over and over again. I mean, honestly, if you want to check out this video that my buddy Alex from Nuggets News posted, I mean, he literally goes through a list of just lies that he's told. I mean, look at this. He actively bought and traded coins on Mt. Gox. He once asked why you would use X's rather than zeros in a burn address. He has thus far failed to provide simple cryptographic proof that he is controlling the keys. He has a history of appearing to exaggerate his academic credentials. His writing style is absolutely nothing like Satoshi's. So yeah, I mean, have fun with this video if you want. I will drop that below. But essentially, this is the situation. And I do want to reference a post that Hal Finney made back in May of 2011. And this is talking about Bitcoin. He says, any successful replacements of Bitcoin blockchain will forever undermine the credibility of any successor. How is an investor to know it won't happen again? Right? So essentially all these people that are speculating on, well, all of these Bitcoin golds, Bitcoin diamonds, etc., basically a lot of people feel that they missed out on Bitcoin, right? I feel that way too sometimes. I didn't get in early enough, right? So a lot of people try to find these other coins hoping to make fortunes off of them, but a lot of them turn out to just either be scams, pump and dumps, or in the long run, they don't really work as well as they claim to say they are, right? Now, I'm not going to get into the technicals today of Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin SV, which actually, interestingly enough, Bitcoin Cash has gone back above Bitcoin SV, just to kind of point that out. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into that today, but that is definitely a hot topic. And I do worry about a lot of new people coming into the space who may not quite understand the difference between what they're buying. If you want to speculate on Bitcoin SV, go ahead. But I still think it's good in the long term to truly understand what you're buying if you're not just simply speculating on price short term, right? So you can see he continues by saying rebooting now may benefit a few thousand early adopters, but what happens when hundreds of millions use Bitcoin number 2? They'll just be jealous and envious of you as they were the others, given the precedent that you want to set. How will you argue against another reboot? It is much more important in this day and age to try and mature Bitcoin to become a more trusted and stable asset than to try to reboot it. As Hal Finney would say, cryptocurrencies already have a bad reputation of creating money out of thin air, and to have a new coin come forward and take the helm from Bitcoin would be a small boost for a few, but the ongoing damage would be massive. In fact, if you remember when we had the crazy debacle over the Bitcoin cash flipping in or splitting off into Bitcoin SV, that was right around the November dump when Bitcoin fell 50%. So that type of turmoil is not healthy for the markets moving forward, guys. But let's talk about CNBC because Bitcoin goes bananas. What? Well, have a look at this because Brian Kelly isn't 100% sure. I'm going to play this and then we're definitely going to talk about it.
Bitcoin has been going a bit bananas this year. The crypto is now up around 22% this year, inching closer to that, 10,000 level that has not hit since September. BK, what is, I don't want to call it a comeback.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it was the best.
Jay said don't call it, don't
but
call
listen,
it. But listen,
Bitcoin
it's been here
was,
for years, but let's be clear. I mean, after this kind of drop, why the sudden reinterest?
So one, Bitcoin was the best performing asset last year. It was up over 80%. So this is not really a comeback.
Off of a $20,000 peak.
Yeah, off of a
Back down to
70% decline. Yes. Well, it does that every several years. So, I mean, if you look at the markets, that's a very typical move for Bitcoin. So we're up 80-something% last year. Momentum continues this year, up 22%. I talked back in December how the Bitcoin market, the price of Bitcoin was mispricing the address growth. And so what you started to see is people kind of reprice the underlying fundamentals. Address growth was, which is the one fundamental I look at, was actually growing while the price was declining. That's a big buy signal. The exact opposite is happening right now. The Bitcoin price has got a little bit ahead of the address growth. So just like I said about Apple, just like I said about the triple Qs in 2000, when an asset goes straight up, that means a lot of the news is priced in. I think there's huge upside for Bitcoin, maybe just not tomorrow.
Wait, hold on. What was that Brian said about an asset going straight up? Okay, all right, let's definitely enough of the BSV talk. But yeah, so I mean, he talks about the addresses. I do agree. You can see there was a nice steady increase of unique addresses pretty much since 2014 all the way to the peak at around 2017. And then we did have a sharp decline where, people got burned. They bought Bitcoin too high. And currently, I don't know if you can see behind me, I'll put it above me. It has been a bit, it's kind of stagnating lately, right? Now, I mean, it's hard to always gauge it. I mean, when you see something running up like this, that's obvious that a lot of addresses are clearly being created. But do keep in mind, if you have something like a Ledger Nano S, I mean, every time you make a transaction, it essentially generates a brand new address, right? So, I mean, I for example, have over, I think like 350 addresses now at this point that have actually been created through all my, sending and receiving Bitcoin. So it's not the best gauge, but, when you do see it skyrocketing, I can understand where he's coming from. However, usually we counter trade, right? Whenever CNBC is bullish, we sell, and whenever they're bearish, we buy. But that was kind of a neutral kind of response from Brian. So what do we do? What do we do, guys? Let me know. Do we just do nothing, remain neutral? Let me know what you're doing. And should we even listen to CNBC? And if you don't know what this is, by the way, this is Jacob Canfield's chart, which is one of my favorite charts ever created. Basically, if you do the opposite of everything that CNBC said leading up to and down from the all-time high, you basically would be doing very, very well moving forward. But you know what? Outside of people calling all these crypto scams, okay, you may have an opinion. Maybe Bitcoin SV is a scam. Maybe Bitcoin Cash is a scam. Maybe this coin is a scam. Sure, that's an opinion, but you know what are actually scams? This right here, guys. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And look at this other one ready to go, lined up, okay? Or it already streamed 17 hours ago. These are all live streams running right now on bogus accounts that take names like Ethereum Official, Binance Exchange, Cointelegraph. They play outdated interviews that happened, months ago, and they say, oh, we're doing a contest, send in so much money, or send 0.1 Bitcoin and we'll send you back 0.5 or something like that. This is a classic scam, and if you guys are in the crypto community, definitely you need to spread the awareness. There's a lot of new people in the space that don't know about this. I know we're sick of looking at it. We're tired of these scams, but think about it. I had somebody just message me the other day like, hey man, I got scammed out of $600. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you not know? Well, they were very new to crypto. So we definitely need to help support these newcomers. We don't want people getting a bad taste in their mouth. Also, this might be a good thing. This may actually show that the bulls are back, that people are getting excited that the scams are back. So it's kind of a good sign, but it's not a good sign, right? And also, you guys know I will never comment below or reach out to anybody, especially for projects. You know, a lot of people say, oh, did you reach out for this sponsored? No, guys, I don't reach out to do sponsored stuff. I will never reach out to that, and do not ever send any money to anyone pretending to be me, okay? Just don't do that, guys, because you can see right here, meanwhile, we have all of these going, and the YouTube purge is apparently still happening. Look at this. Our friend Da Vinci's YouTube channel just got hit with a community warning and then a strike, and now he can't post for a week, right? So Da Vinci can't post for a week, but these scam channels are up and running, literally live right now as I'm making this video. Come on, YouTube. I think you need to get your act together. So, ending on some good news, though, I don't want to end on some bad news. It looks like Akon has got the green light to build his crypto city in Africa. It will be named Akon City. Okay, not the most creative name. And they will use the ALTCOIN cryptocurrency. It'll be the first to run on 100% renewable energy, and it's going to be built in phases over the next 10 years. In his words, he says he wants it to be like a real-life Wakanda, like, from Marvel. So let's see how that plays out, guys. And also, this was a little bit of a rumor. That's why I put it at the very, very end of the video. Mark Fleury says, breaking, Fed to announce a digital dollar like the China effort tomorrow. So tomorrow, the Fed is going to be announcing a digital dollar. I don't know. I would have loved to have been like breaking news, but I saw this just before I started making the video, so I didn't have enough time to research it. But if you know something about this now, please drop a comment below and let me know so I can definitely look into it. And, guys, also, if you have not joined the Crypto Zombie Telegram group, it's absolutely free. And if you do know anything about the Fed coin, pop in and give us a little update on that. So that being said, how are we doing? We're still trying to push down right here. So, guys, like I said, I mean, we might have a little bit of a cool off, but as long as we sort of maintain on that trend and definitely stay above the 8.5, 8.6K level, short term, I think that would be all right for Bitcoin. Anything else crazy happens, well, then we'll have to discuss and talk about it. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. If you're looking to get your hands on a brand new Ledger Nano S, potentially drop a comment on any video. And that's it for me today, guys. You rock. Thank you so much. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.